Hi everyone. I'm Misha. I'm here with Satini,
Hello.
and today we're going to be talking about friendships.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Satini, would you say you have friends?
I hope so. Yeah. I got a few friends or whatever. I'm the type where I like to keep my circle small.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can say that I have friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Misha?
Well, typically, like, I'm 26,
Yeah.
right? So like I've seen my friendship circle grow smaller
Mm.
as I've gotten older,
Yeah.
and I think that's a common pattern for a lot
Mhm.
of people. Um, and so I think, yeah, I do have friends, but they're on a pretty, like, I can count them on one hand
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I
Mm.
know that, like, if I'm going through something, like, they'll be, like, very reliable
Yeah.
and, like, very trustworthy.
Yeah.
I think those are, like, good qualities to look for
No,
when
absolutely.
you're, like, looking for friends.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about why friendships in general are so important and why female friends and opposite sex friends, like vice versa, like, that they're important to have
Mhm.
because they can really help you reevaluate your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like they when you're in a situation, especially something that's like clouding your judgment,
Mhm.
you're not able to see properly
Yeah.
to understand like what's happening and things like that.
Mhm.
And someone who's a bit removed from the situation, even an acquaintance,
Mm.
um, can able to will be able to like point that out to you. But I think like friendships, a friend has something that an acquaintance doesn't have, which
Mm.
is the knowledge of you.
Yeah.
So like they have the sort of access that an
Mm.
acquaintance doesn't have because they're closer to you.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, they can be a source of comfort, and having someone to keep you accountable as well
Mhm.
as like build meaningful conversations with, meaningful relationships with.
Yeah.
For me personally, I will admit that having someone of the same sex to talk to about women's issues is really beneficial.
Mhm.
But there's benefit to having opposite sex friends as well. If you're male, female friends can give you perspective from the opposite sex and vice versa, right?
Mhm.
Um, it just helps to build your understanding of each other and helps to build, like, for example, like, um, it can help even for a guy, it could help them even understand their sisters better, things like that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coming from a culture where, um, sort of, it's like taboo to talk about like periods and things like that. I know like in Indian
Mm.
culture it's only something that's being talked about recently.
Yeah.
I'm from
Oh.
Indian culture,
Yeah.
and like there's now like adverts and stuff being put up by Libra and things like that about
Mm.
like talking about periods and not being ashamed of periods and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
um and so yeah, like having opposite sex friends can really help educate
Mhm.
um young minds and
Yeah.
things like that.
Absolutely. Because I think, and like continuing from your point, like in a cultural perspective, because I only have one brother, yeah,
Mm.
and like in my culture, it's what we call it's like whakaapapa. So it's
Mm.
like boys wouldn't be in the same room as girls, and
Mm.
like even to the extent where some they wouldn't watch TV together. Like my
Yeah.
dad and his sisters would never.
Yeah.
It's always separate. So um yeah, just with males and like females in general, I think um yeah, like it's important because even with like relationships, friendships overall, or
Mm.
advice, like say if you have a guy friend, he won't know how girls think,
Yeah.
because you know how you. It's like one of those things where, yeah, if you're a girl, you just know how other girls are
Yeah.
like. Oh, like yeah, she's petty just because blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's probably like, no,
I
that
don't
doesn't
see
even
it.
make any
Yeah.
sense because why would she get upset over that?
Yeah.
So nah, I see what you mean. It's a good
Yeah.
point.
Or like a common thing is like, for example, like if you're in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And like you see another girl trying to encroach on your man, and you're like, I see those memes.
Yeah,
Like, what is with those memes? Like,
literally,
literally. And he's
like,
like, what do you mean? What are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. Oh, those are so funny. Yeah, and then the guy's like, "No, but I was just being nice,"
Nice.
and
Yeah.
she's like, "No, I
No,
know what
no.
girls are
These are
like.
like,
It's
yeah.
it's more than just being nice. There's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's not to say like every girl is doing that.
Yeah, no.
But like, you know,
We know, okay?
Yeah.
The listeners on this podcast, we're all thinking the same, I know. No, but yeah.
And yeah, so that I guess goes on to like you make friends with people that you can trust typically,
Yeah.
right? Like people that make you feel comfortable, people that are supportive, people that are honest, that respect you,
Yeah.
and that you can respect in return. You know, like it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Like having a healthy friendship. People that are gentle, non-judgmental, generous, and patient. And there's a lot of like, especially in same-sex friendships, there's a lot of relatability and like access to like feelings of like safety and belonging, like to a larger group. And yeah, I guess a question I wanted to ask would be like, what are some hallmarks of like a true friendship that you've experienced?
Oh, that put me on the spot. Damn. Jeez.
It's okay. Take your time.
I don't know. Do you have an answer for this already, or?
So for me, I would say that like I have a specific friendship, right? And it's with a member of the opposite sex, completely platonic.
Yeah.
But it makes me a better person.
Yeah.
Because they're not afraid to point out my flaws.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to point out when I'm being unreasonable or overbearing or not even a good friend and not a good person at times. Like we all have those moments, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But like this person has the guts to actually approach me about it and to like say it in a way that I will receive.
Yeah.
Like in a loving way, not in a way that makes me feel condemned or judged. Otherwise, why would I keep the friendship?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it gives me things to work on actively that make me feel like, oh wow, like I'm actually being proactive in being a better friend, being a better person.
Yeah.
I'm growing in this
That's
friendship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn, because we see it a lot where some people think that they're quite like true friends are the ones that agree with you on everything, like your yes men.
Yeah.
When in reality, I think like the friend that you have, I think our true friends that want to see us be better and have like our best, I guess, interests at heart, like where they will have the balls or whatever to be like, hey, you know, you're actually wrong.
Yeah.
Or this is not right, because it will impact you and the others around you, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think like having true friends like that is very important.
Yeah.
Because like, and we know like the young people, peer pressure is a big thing.
Yes.
So, and I don't know, maybe because we're older and stuff, but I think some of you don't realize that when you get peer pressure to go down a negative path or something, they don't care about you.
Yeah, they don't.
Because like an example, some kids that we like through juvenile justice and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, I was with my mate, blah blah blah, he made me do it and all that. But it's like, why would your friend tell you go steal, and then when they end up going juvie or something, they don't contact them?
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's really sad.
like, is that like your level of friendship? Like, is that how low the bar is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
I guess like someone who really sees your worth
Yeah.
will not like force you into something that they know is destructive for them.
Yeah.
As well, and then making it destructive for you, like as if to like get you on the same level that they're at.
Yeah.
Whereas like friendships will actually want to build you up,
Yeah.
like to be better and do better.
For sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but that's really sad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's the reality.
but that brings me to my next point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you show that you are a true friend to someone?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we talked a bit about it before, like when we mentioned, you know, not being afraid to say, like, point out the things that need to be pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not being a yes man, not giving into peer pressure with your friends, things like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
actually looking at what's best for the person in front of you rather than what's best for you
Yeah.
at the time, but also taking care of your needs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a very fine line there, um, in terms of that. But some of the points I wrote down would be, um, as best as you can, um, you know, things like I think especially among girls,
Mm-hmm.
things like gossip, creating rumors,
Mm.
cattiness, um, and just like social exclusion.
Yeah.
Those kind of things can be really hurtful to a person.
Yeah.
And if you count yourself as a friend to that person, it's in my opinion that you would be sticking up for them.
Mm-hmm.
You would fight against the injustice that's being
Yeah.
delivered,
Mm-hmm.
because like bullying is not okay.
Yeah.
Like, these are all forms of bullying. And physical violence also is bullying, like for the guys, but I feel like girls do it more in a social aspect kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Um, yeah, along with the points that you said, I was gonna say something. Um, oh yeah, like it's for some friendships, how you said like bullying, gossiping, and all that stuff. It's some, and I was speaking like the perspective of girls, but obviously it doesn't apply to everyone. But
Mm.
sometimes we think it's okay, like to joke around,
Mm.
but really you never know if your friend's actually being impacted by it.
Yeah.
You might think like little comments like, oh ew, like nah, your makeup's ugly or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just but like
Mm.
even like small things like that, you might not think it's like bullying,
Mm.
but it happens a lot,
Yeah.
and then the person you're doing it to, they might not say anything about it because they're like, oh no, that's my friend, they're just joking,
Yeah.
but really they'll go home and freaking cry about it or something,
Yeah.
which is a completely valid
Mm.
reaction to it.
Mm.
But
I
yeah.
used to actually get bullied for my body type in high school.
Really?
Yeah. By people that I thought were my friends.
Yeah.
And it became like a running joke
Yeah.
that like if I was cool with them, I had to like go along with.
Yeah.
And like actually it gave me like really bad body image issues later on in life that I had to work through. They would even like post pictures of me that I was not comfortable with on their like Facebook and stuff like that. And it would just be like ugly pictures of me, and I'd be like, no, I look ugly there.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh no, it's just fun, like look how cute I look, or like look how like, like it's just a fun thing, just be chill. And I got caught up in that.
Yeah.
And it made me really mistrustful of my female friends.
Yeah.
For a long time. Until I realized that, you know what, like it's not about them being, it's not about me. Like I wasn't the problem in that situation.
Oh,
it was the fault of it, or like they were probably dealing with their own stuff as well. And I had to look at it from that perspective because I think it just comes with like growing up. Sometimes like you got to change your perspective in order to deal with certain things.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's the thing, it's reality.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really can't, in that moment and stuff, you're not seeing the other side.
Yeah.
The other perspective of what's right.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, far out.
So how do you sort of like if you're in high school or if you're in uni, how do you like make friends, right? Or even like if you're beyond that age, like how do you make friends as an adult? Like sometimes like making friends when you're older is a bit harder.
Yeah.
Because like you're not in common circles with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because like, and I always see it posted about a lot. Like, because there's this group that we're included in. It's called Western Sydney Girls Connect or something,
Mhm.
and it's like not a lot of young people, but like older females saying,
Mm.
like, is there anyone around my age? It's so hard to make friends and stuff because,
Mm.
like, at school it's easy. You'll see them like 5 times a day. I mean,
Yeah.
5 times a week. You'll spend the whole day with them.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're all just in like a common setting or something.
Mm.
And then, I mean, there's work as well, but
Mm.
sometimes you might not actually be friends. It's just like colleagues,
Yeah.
like just work and then that's it. But yeah, I guess if you're in uni and stuff, like taking advantage of the clubs that are there. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be a little bit, I don't know, so you might not feel comfortable doing so, but I think when you join a club that you actually really like,
Mm.
it'll be easy to make friends because then you're all there because of that common interest.
Yeah.
So it can be, I don't know, what clubs are there?
Well, there's volunteering opportunities within your community at
Nice.
MYC.
Oop, the little plug.
Yeah.
Thank you.
um, and at uni, there's like language societies. There's food societies.
Yeah.
There's even like cultural groups. Like you can
Yeah.
congregate around, and that can all like really enrich your social life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I was looking into what sort of like, I guess, what people really benefit from a person.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, being able to like have the balls to say stuff that needs to be said is good,
Mm-hmm.
but also being a proactive and empathetic listener
Yeah.
is something that a lot of people really value.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be like a good friend to somebody that's already in your circle, or like meet new friends and be
Yeah.
a good friend to them,
Mm-hmm.
being a good listener and knowing how to assert yourself in a friendly, approachable, and relatable way
Yeah.
as well,
Mm-hmm.
is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, because especially being a listener, like, I mean, it's very important to be able to listen, whether it's, yeah, in your friendships, work, school, all that stuff. But sometimes our friends might drop little hints of something, like whether if they're going through something mentally or something, they might say it to you
Yeah.
as, and like kind of bury it with something else,
Yeah.
but it's also a cry for help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
listening is very, very important. Sometimes some people don't want answers, or they don't want you to talk back
Yeah.
or give them any advice. They just want you to listen,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's very, very important. I agree.
And that actually goes into what I was going to talk about next, which is the reasons why we should talk about our mental health
Yeah.
with our friends and possibly a psychologist as well. There's a lot of research that goes into this that say that women are diagnosed with depression more often than men, but men can also be depressed. However, because men are less likely to recognize, talk about, and seek help for their feelings or emotional problems, they're at greater risk of the depressive symptoms being undiagnosed or undertreated. Whereas women may benefit more from treatment as well, as they're more willing to speak about their feelings. And this goes into like the podcast we did about attachment styles as well, a while back as well. So that attachment styles do affect how you talk about things and whether you choose to approach a situation, like talking about your mental health and being vulnerable in that way. But yeah, this is just a generalization of what they found. And yeah, so if you're experiencing like depressive symptoms nearly every day for at least 2 weeks, things like persistent sad, anxious, or empty moods, feeling hopelessness or pessimism, feeling guilt or worthlessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, that's the time that you need to think about maybe seeing a healthcare provider, because there's certain things that I feel like it's good to talk about with your friends, but then when it becomes more serious, I think a loving thing to do for the people around you as well is to recognize everyone's capacity.
Yeah.
Capacity to understand that information.
Mm-hmm.
And you also want to like protect yourself as well by seeing the right people who can give you that help without giving you sort of like bad advice just because they don't understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I absolutely agree. Because, like we've been saying, you know, communicating with your friends, important, all that stuff. But there is certain things where you do have to realize that only professional help can help you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say like, I don't want to say you're going to put burden on some of your friends. But sometimes your friends, and like you said in the beginning, our friends can give us a different perspective. But if you're both like not professionals or whatever, and because they already know so much about you, it could be giving you the complete like wrong information.
Yeah.
So I think getting help from a professional would probably be the best thing to do if you have to.
Yeah.
Or I think everyone at some point should at least just try and consider it, because you never really know. You might think that something is small, but there could be underlying issues.
Yeah.
And then if you get that help, then you'll eventually, I guess, come up with ways to cope with it, or you might get be able to kind of overcome that issue.
Yeah.
And then when you overcome that, then you might be able to help your friends and those around you in a more positive way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And I think it's also a thing of like like not trying to there's something in it where it's like just because you went through something and I'm not discounting your experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? Your experience is your own experience and you got to take charge of that. And no one can tell you that your experience is invalid.
Yeah.
But it's also about like even seeking help to understand someone else better
Mm.
and not assuming that like your experiences are the same.
Yeah. Oh no.
Because like even though someone may be going through something that's similar to what you were going through, their situation, there are things that underlying factors that they're not telling you that could be very different and could make that situation a very different situation to yours.
Absolutely.
So it's like to be a good friend in that situation would also look like putting your judgments and your assumptions aside and looking at the person just as the person. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I mentioned it in another podcast as well, but even if you have these like really close friends that you feel like you can talk about everything with, you sometimes you still don't even know that person fully.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like for me, there are certain things, there's a whole bunch of things I can tell my friends and all, but then there's other things where they would have no idea, or my experiences that I've been through and all that stuff.
Yeah.
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 So exactly what you said, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, like if the symptoms that we spoke about before, and there's other symptoms that go along with that, I suggest like talking to maybe like Lifeline or Headspace or Beyond Blue or Kids Helpline to really like if you're concerned about something that's affecting your functioning in day-to-day life, and to see if that is like what you're to kind of like see if you can get a counseling service or something like that to help you understand what you're going through.
For sure.
But yeah, if you're significantly distressed, please speak to someone. Like I think there's a lot of instances where I see young people going to drugs or alcohol to deal with the issue and self-medicate. But that just makes the issue worse.
Yeah.
In a lot of instances. And so having someone to open up to, even if you start with a friend and you then go to seek professional help, like it's a really good start to just like like get the ball rolling, and the
Yeah.
people around you who really care about you, they will surround you with that love, they will surround you with that support to get help.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about.
No, I think we covered really, really good points in this.
Mm.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all friendships are different, but if you have ones that are, uplifting, makes you a better person, and positive, then I think those are the best types of friendships. If you are stuck in a circle or something that brings you down all the time, doesn't exactly bring you any joy, only brings you negative thoughts and feelings and stuff, then I hate to break it to you, but it's probably not the best friendship group
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
because I think everyone just deserves better than all that negative influence in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then, like we've said, if once when you have that positive, encouraging support network, then you'll just be a better you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was really motivational. I hope.
Learn your self-worth.
Oh, definitely. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
No, that's a good last line.
Yeah.
Yes. Know your self-worth,
Yeah.
please, because it's very high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
I think we've covered everything, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Misha,
Thank
for
you,
this
Satini, for having
podcast.
me.
No, thank you. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it. So I'm sure you guys enjoyed this podcast. As always, if you have any questions or anything, or you want to follow our social media, the links are down below. But yeah, take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll see you in another episode. Bye.
Bye.